Hello everyone. So it's been a while since I did any kind of videos. I think the last one I did was the flower tower video. So I want to take you around the garden and show you how everything's going. Today's July 20th. This is basically it. This is what I've been waiting for since February. If you've been following along my videos, I started making the potting soil, planted the seeds, gave you a little update on the seedlings, transplanted the seedlings, made some flower boxes, made some bird houses. So let me take you around and show you everything. It really looks good. All the hard work definitely paid off. So right here is just a shot of the deck and just some pots with some different flowers in it. Again, these are all grown from seeds. So I got the trailing petunias, trailing vincas, and just different assorted pots. And then in the center wooden part is one of the cannas. It's not really growing big, but that's all right. Just like the look of the leaves. I think the leaves are really pretty. So come on, I'll take you down and show you around. So here's one of the flower boxes with the trailing vincas in them. And I know I've said it a million times on my videos, these are my favorite flowers. You can see how they flop over the box. You only see the box in a certain spot. The leaves are nice and green. There's no deadheading. They just keep on flowering all summer long. And the hotter it is, the better they like it. And down below here, some of the marigolds. Some zinnias, all started from seed. And then down here's my vegetable garden. Here's the tomato plants I started from seed. These are the better boys. We're starting to get some red ones, which is good. I'm dying to have one of these. And then to the right, these three here. Starting to get some red ones on there. These are the tomatoes from making salsa. I'll think of their name probably after I walk away. Anyway, there's three plants here. The Roma tomatoes. There you go. I knew I'd come up with it sooner or later. Roma tomatoes. These are doing really well. All started from seed. Now here's my pickling cucumbers. When I planted these and they started to grow, I really didn't like the way they looked. And obviously there was something wrong with them. They grew, but then they died as soon as they branched out. I only ended up, I think there was 4 or 5 on there. I didn't even pick them because I didn't like the way the plant looked. So knowing that, I went out and bought a different kind of pickling cucumber and planted them as a backup, and I'm glad I did because these just didn't turn out. But if you're a gardener or you want to get into gardening, this is what sometimes happens. I'm disappointed, but what are you going to do? This is really the only bad thing that happened this year. So far I'm doing good. So here's my backups here, and I don't have any flowers yet, but or yeah, I do. Yeah, there's some flowers in there, but so far these look healthy. So hopefully I get some pickling cucumbers off these so I can make some pickles. And then here's some string beans. I already picked some string beans. They're pretty good. They're doing really well. I don't think the rabbits found them yet. And here's some pepper plants. and they got some buds on them, so we'll get some peppers off of them probably in September. And this last box here, I used to grow corn in here, and the corn was delicious, but the squirrels just tear them up, so I stopped growing them. Didn't have anything to put in here. These were all extra flowers that I had, nowhere to plant, so I thought, well, instead of throwing them away, I'll plant them in here, and I can use them if I need to put anything anywhere in the garden. And there's a couple cannas in there, and basically just grew them. I gave a lot of cannas away this year. These were extra. I just put them in there just so I could grow some. The root balls would get bigger, and I can use them for next year when I dig them up and cut the root ball up to start new plants for next year. So down here is another flower box, and again, my favorite flower, the trailing vinca. These are great for boxes. And there's a petunia up there. I don't know if you can see it, but I got my irrigation system tied into that, so I don't have to water anything, which is really nice. I just set a timer and it does it by itself. Here's a canna in the box. This one's got a nice flower on it. Some of them are starting to flower. I had so many of them. I took all the extra pots I had and planted them, but they look nice around the pool. And then past that, these are the daisies, the Shasta daisies. These things blooming like crazy. Kind of at the end now. Another week, 2 weeks, there won't be any flowers on it, but they look good. They started out as a 1x1 little plant 10 years ago, and now I have them all over. Here's my favorite tree. I really like these trees. These are the crepe myrtles. This thing's been blooming for about a week now. It'll have blooms all the way to September. And past that is some more marigolds. And this tall one here, there's no flowers on it yet, but there's buds on it. This is it's going to be white flowers. It's a dahlia. And then two different kind of grasses. What these are called, I really don't know. And this one here, my neighbor gave me. This one here, I bought at a nursery for like $3 about 5 years ago. And I've actually divided it up, and I put a piece of it out on the side of my house, which is really growing well too. There's some more of the marigolds. The marigolds are really doing good. I'm really happy with the marigolds. I'm going to grow them again. If you remember, when I started all these from seed, I have probably 200 or 300 marigold plants. And here's another crepe myrtle. These trees are beautiful. Look at the bark on it and the way the branches come up. This is just starting to bloom. A ton of buds on it. Another week this will just be full of these pink flowers. And this is a lot smaller than it was. The cold winter we had, there were a lot of dead branches on it. I had to thin it out, but it'll come back. It still looks really nice. And that big plant there is a sedum. I'll take you over here around the pool. Some more planters. Again, I have so many of these cannas, and they look really nice around the pool. So I put them in the containers and spread them out. here. And there's the first flower box I put in, which gave me the idea to put the flower boxes pretty much everywhere now. I really like the flower boxes, and I really like how these flowers look in it. And if you watch my video on how to make a flower box, that's when I extended it all the way down to the end of the fence. These are all the trailing vincas. I'm going to get in on a closer shot for you, so you get an idea of how they look. And when I was planting these, I started almost 900 seeds, and I ended up with about 350 plants out of the 900 seeds. So roughly 1/3 of the seeds germinated and turned into plants, which is about right when you're growing flowers from seeds. But this is awesome. It goes all the way down the fence. My favorite part of the garden is this box with all these trailing vincas. There's another box with some cannas. Had some blooms on them. Some of them are finished. Some will start to bloom again. These really look good. These love water. The more water you give them, the more they grow. There's the lawn. I've been skipping on the water this year, kind of getting frustrated. See that center brown? Again this year, I had the problem with the insects and the sod webworms. I spray and I don't see them for a while, and then I mow the lawn and they start flying up as I mow the lawn. I guess it could be worse, but it's very frustrating. We got some more marigolds. Here's a crepe myrtle here. And this crepe myrtle had maybe 6 or 7 branches coming up from the ground. Now you can see there's just 2. And the winter was just so brutal that it killed off a lot of it. So those 2 branches were the only ones that were still alive. So I cut the other ones right down to the ground, and I'm starting to get shoots coming out of the ground from the roots, which is good. So we'll let them grow, and we'll pick out the best ones and let them sprout up, and they'll turn into these larger branches. But it'll take a couple years for that to happen. This was a really nice crepe myrtle. I was disappointed. But again, when you're gardening, this is the stuff that comes up, and you can't control Mother Nature. So this is the area of the garden I call Birdhouse Row. If you remember the video I did on the bird houses, I have no birds, but the houses look really nice. And I've been joking of calling it Birdhouse Row. I had two bird houses with birds going in them, and they were building nests. I don't know what happened. They stopped after a while. But I'll leave them out here, and they'll be out here in the early spring. Hopefully next year we'll get some birds to make some homes here. But in the meantime, they look nice. And there's the flower boxes that extend all the way down. These were the ones that I did the video on. And they got the irrigation tube running through them, so they water themselves. And these are the trailing vincas. A nice red one. The leaves are so green on them. Like I said, can't say it enough, this is my favorite flower. Down here in the back, some dahlias. They're taking their good old time to come up for some reason. This one here did sprout a flower. Let's see if we can get a shot of this flower. This flower's only been open for a couple days. Looks really pretty. It's like a salmon color. front, there's more geraniums. I'm sorry, not geraniums, marigolds. And there's a crepe myrtle my neighbor gave me about 2 years ago. It was only a couple little twigs, and it's doing really good. But I'll thin that out, give it another year or two, and then start training some branches, and eventually they'll get woody and it'll get really big. Some more dahlias in the back. No flowers yet. It won't be long. And the marigolds. Marigolds are really, really doing good. There's a zinnia planted in there. Another crepe myrtle. We got some shoots coming out of the bottom. I have to cut them out. And there's a birdhouse hiding back there. And actually, it's like, that's the first I noticed that, but something was making a nest in there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Hey, look at that. Something was making a nest. I don't know, it might be too late in the summer to have baby birds, but we'll see. That wasn't there a couple weeks ago. Up the side, this is a hibiscus. It hasn't bloomed yet. It's some kind of Hawaiian hibiscus. A friend of mine gave me a packet of seeds that they had for a couple years laying around, and I said, they offered them to me, so I took them, planted them, and I think there was maybe 10 seeds in the pack that was given to me, and I ended up with 2 plants out of the 10 seeds, and this was one of them. These get white blooms on them. Some more of the daisies. I'll take you around the front of the deck. Hopefully I'm not making you seasick here. But there's the flower box that I built, did the video on, and mounted to the front of the deck. These are all trailing petunias. They look good, but I really prefer the trailing vincas. A week ago, there was really no flowers on this. They had bloomed. There must have been a couple thousand blooms on it. They all died off, and now I'm starting to get more flowers, but that's what you get with petunias. It still looks nice, looks pretty. And down in the front, more marigolds. I used to plant in the front of the deck here vincas, just regular vincas. They never did well. But these marigolds seem to like it here. I think I'll put marigolds in again next year. They're easy to grow. And there's my flower tower. It's filling in nicely. And next to it's another hibiscus. It rained earlier, and the rain just messes with the blooms. After it's done blooming, I'll cut it back so we can see the flower tower more. The flower tower is really doing good. I kind of like the idea of putting it in the garden instead of a pot. And also the idea of using the trailing vincas. Up the side here, put in all the pots in front of the deck. They're the trailing vincas. You see the hose there. It's all tied into the irrigation system, so I don't have to water anything. Just makes life easy. Some more daisies, or marigolds. And in the cage is another dahlia. It's got buds on it. They haven't bloomed yet. And up here, these are the zinnias. Remember, I started these from seed. They're all doing really good. Let's take a walk up this side. Here's a dahlia. All the dahlias for some reason have been slow. Well, not all of them, most of them. Slow to grow. And some more marigolds. And this is a dahlia, and it comes back every year. It's a shame I didn't get pictures of it when it was in full bloom. But that was nothing but yellow and purple flowers. At this point, we'll just get stragglers as far as flowers go. It still looks nice. And here's a dahlia here. It's probably the only one that's been blooming. I've deadheaded this a few times. They look good. A couple on there will need to be snipped off. But I try and keep these deadheaded because it'll fake the plant out, where it'll continue to bud and flower. There's a dahlia there. It looks like it's going to be a yellow flower. And in front of it, some more marigolds. And here's a hibiscus. It hasn't bloomed yet. I need to tie it up after the rain we had today. It's starting to droop over. Here's another dahlia. No buds on it yet. I'm sure in another few weeks we'll have flowers. And more marigolds. Take you around the front. Alright, so here's the front garden. Just loaded with marigolds. These unbelievable how these marigolds are done. Sorry about that camera shot. They really look good. These will look this way all the way till October. And behind that are some purple vincas. These are just regular vincas. They're not trailing vincas. And these were ones that I started from seed. There's a couple hanging baskets. Petunias in one and the trailing vinca in the other. More marigolds. There's a watering can I'm using as a planter. It's got the trailing vincas. And that there's a petunia that I trimmed back. It grew, it bloomed, and then it was nothing but straggly green vines, so I trimmed it back. And another week or so I'll start to get flowers on it. And there's a little planter with a canna in it. That won't flower, but I like the look of it in front of the front door. There's a pot with some trailing vincas. Another canna with a flower. And this canna I did not plant. I planted this a few years ago. I didn't think anything would grow back because of the winter we had. And I got one shoot that started, which is the long one, the tall one. And there's a couple more coming up now. I actually don't like it there. I was kind of glad when nothing was growing and all of a sudden it started to grow. So I won't dig it up. Eventually it'll stop coming back. It's doing pretty good for being out here all winter. And in the front, all the vincas. All these were from seed. Go around the side. These are pretty much done. And I know the name of these, but I can't think of it right now. I think These will be the last. And then I'll trim these back and it'll just be green. They look good. These are iris. Just realize what they are. They're iris. Yellow irises. And there's some more of the daisies. And here's a piece of that grass from the backyard that I split the roots up, planted it out here. And it's really doing good. And here we got the hanging baskets with the tunas in them. They're tied into the irrigation system. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Give you a little shot of the grass. Had some problems with the bugs out here too. Although it does look pretty good. There's some brown spots where the bugs were eating the grass. I did a pretty good job out here controlling them. They're sod webworms. I would spray, I wouldn't see them, and then 2 weeks later I'll start seeing them again. I spray, I don't see them, and then they come back. So they're laying eggs in the grass. I just need to keep up with them. Once September comes, the problem will go away. And this grass will green up where it's brown, where the bugs got to it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Wanted to do a video so you could just see the end result from all the hard work that started all the way back in February. It was worth all the work, that's for sure. I enjoy coming home and sitting in the yard and taking all that color in. Everyone that comes over compliments it, and it really does look pretty out there. But just an idea. If I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not hard. So thanks for watching. I'll be putting some more videos up. I got some cool things I want to do. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get updates when I upload videos as I make them. So for now, I'll see you next time.